Hey, sound people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well and in good health. Okay, today we're going to take a look at Zohran Mamdani. Now, he is a candidate who just won the basic kind of initial stages of becoming the New York mayor. He's a Muslim man, and there's been a lot of kind of content out there about him and whatnot. As soon as he won those early stages of voting, he's now been facing a lot of torrent of Islamophobia from right-wing entities, media, and so on. So let's take a look at what this guy's all about.
1 week ago, we shocked the establishment and redrew the political map with a campaign relentlessly focused on the needs of working people. Since then, a lot of people have asked me if I was surprised by the results. In some ways, I was. We always thought our victory would come after multiple rounds of ranked win vote. So when we got more first-round votes than Eric Adams got in 7 rounds in the last election, it was astonishing. But in other ways, this was always the plan. We wanted to rebuild a coalition that had frayed over years of disappointment and neglect, to win people back to a Democratic Party that puts working people first. So let's break it down. Last November, New York City saw some of the biggest shifts towards Donald Trump of anywhere in the country. Much of it took place in working class and immigrant neighborhoods. A few days after the election, we went to Hillside Avenue in Queens, Fordham Road in the Bronx, not to lecture, but to listen. And what we heard was a desire to bring down the cost of living. That was our focus, and many of those voters came back.
To be honest, cost of living, bring that down, that's a good kind of idea. Mamdani has been accused of being a communist, a socialist, all these other type of things. He's going to destroy New York's economy by all his kind of individuals who are targeting him and criticizing him. And a lot of them, to be honest, are overstepping the mark and labeling him many different things and being openly and overtly Islamophobic. But he has some good ideas, some not so good. But that's pretty much like most candidates out there.
Brighton Beach went for Trump by 44 points. Last week, we won it by 16. College Point was a plus 11 Trump neighborhood. We took it by 8 points. We saw similar or even bigger swings in Bath Beach, Astoria Heights, and the North Shore of Staten Island. The headline is clear. We can win back voters many have written off if we give them something to vote for, not just tell them what to be against. When Eric Adams eked out a win by 7,000 votes 4 years ago, he called it a mandate and pronounced himself the new face of the Democratic Party. Even then, it was a little ridiculous. But in some neighborhoods, he did put up impressive margins. Take Flatbush, for example. Eric Adams dominated there, double digits ahead of his next rival. On Tuesday, there was also a double-digit victory, except it was for us, over Andrew Cuomo. We flipped Crown Heights by 45 points, North Corona by 33, and Jamaica by a staggering 57 points. These are the outer borough voters that Eric Adams said he'd bring with him to City Hall. He served as donor.
So Mamdani, he's comparing himself to the previous candidate, Adams, and he's just showcasing how well they've done in the inner suburb areas in New York and how people have turned to Mamdani, who started off, some while back with 1%, and now he's got a massive increase with close to 50 or over in terms of percentage points that people have swung over to him. Maybe they're looking for a breath of fresh air and something different. But like I said before, a lot of people were criticizing him just because he was Muslim, which is bang out of order, to be honest.
Whether we're talking about young voters, older voters, or just plain disaffected New Yorkers, no campaign in recent history has been as successful at driving new voter registrations, especially in the 100 days before the election. Just take a look at this graph. According to the Times, in the 14 days before the registration deadline, about 37,000 people registered to vote. That's over 10 times the number of new registrations over the same period of time in the 2021 mayoral primary. As a result, we won big with zero prime voters, New Yorkers who had not voted in any recent mayoral primary. For instance, in Gravesend, at least 32% of all voters were first-time primary voters. Most campaigns focus on triple primes.
So you can see a lot of people that haven't voted before came out to help him and did vote for him. Here in the UK, we've now seen Jeremy Corbyn and the MP Zara Sultana announce that they're also creating a new party on the left. That'll be interesting to see whether votes swing over to them as well.
New Yorkers have voted in the last 3 primaries. But this strategy ignores most of our city. Yet we knew that we could turn them out if they saw themselves in our policies. We ran a campaign that tried to talk to every New Yorker. Whether I could speak their language, आपकी वजह से हमने $8 million raise किया, 6 लाख से ज़्यादा दरवाजे खटखटाए, or just try. Que se comprometa al bienestar. All the words are new! And the coalition that came out on Tuesday reflected the mosaic of these 5 words. We won South Asian neighborhoods by huge margins, places like City Line, Ozone Park, Jamaica Hills. We won Latino neighborhoods like Corona, Washington Heights, Pelham Bay, and Woodhaven. We won many of the same Chinese voters that turned out for Trump: Flushing, Chinatown, and Bensonhurst. And in the final months of the campaign, we narrowed Andrew Cuomo's once sizable lead with black voters, outright winning young black New Yorkers in neighborhoods like Harlem and Flatbush. Andrew Cuomo and his super PAC spent more than $31 million. That's about $87 per vote. We were focused on affordability, and it cost us only $19 per vote. But what you did for us was worth including our own. The Cuomo spokesperson put it best, saying they had not foreseen our ability to, quote, expand the electorate in such a way that no turnout model or pool.
So Cuomo spent pretty much $87 per vote, whereas these guys spent just under 20. That's like nearly a quarter less or even more percentage points. So that is a massive, massive underspend by these guys. But it's worked. Maybe they didn't have that much funding, but this guy did, and he pretty much got decimated.
Or was able to have. Conventional wisdom says the left can only win low turnout elections. We rewrote the rule book by, get this, talking to New Yorkers. Politics in this city won't ever be the same, and it's all thanks to you. The next chapter begins today, New York.
So you can see the key really here was that Zohran's campaign, they went out, they met people on the doorstep, kind of like a bit of community organising, and they spoke to people and so on, and started to win over hearts and minds, with a lot of people upset with the current state of politics in America and around the world. So Zohran Mamdani is the candidate who's potentially could be the next mayor of New York, and he'll be the first Muslim. So a lot of people are angry about that and don't want that to happen. But we'll wait and see over the coming months what does happen. Okay, people, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Catch you in the next one.